Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Got a new Cardfight Vanguard video for you guys on Cardfight area. And as you guys can see, I'm doing something I honestly didn't want to. But today we're going to be covering, I'm going to butcher this name, Ominagruzio. So, I thought this deck looked interesting when it first got announced, mostly because of the artwork of Ominagruzio. I think this card is gorgeous. And the whole idea behind its effect, reducing triggers, stopping defensive triggers, restanding, like it just sounds like such a powerful card. But a lot of people like this card, and this deck was everywhere. So I decided to kind of back off a little bit. But obviously, I'm going to be playing Shiranui, which I can almost guarantee is going to be meta. So that's going to be everywhere. So I said, fuck it, let's just do another deck that a lot of people like. So we're going to run through the deck like we always do, and then we're going to go and play a game. I will point out that this is going to be using one of the set 13 cards, because apparently the card makes this deck a lot stronger. So let's run through the deck real quick. We got our ride line. Omnikitty, which is adorable, obviously basic starter. Omnicrow, for anybody that doesn't know what it does, Vanguard Circle once per turn. It's an active effect, which is weird for this day and age. Soul Blast 1, look at the top 5 cards of your deck, choose up to one grade 3 or greater Ominagruzio in its card name. From among them, reveal it and put it into your hand. Shuffle your deck. If you do not reveal a card, soul charge 2. So basically, you want to hoard your Ominagruzios because of the way Ominagruzio Nest works. We'll get there in a second. Omna Owls. Jesus. When it rides on top of Omnicrow, search your deck for a 1 trigger unit, put it into your soul, shuffle your deck, and draw a card. 3+1. The trigger to soul is not a bad thing at all. You want triggers in the soul so you can actually start doing your craziness. Alright, grade 3. Evil Eye Dragon Ominagruzio. When this unit is placed on Vanguard, look at the top 5 cards of your deck, choose up to 1 card with Ominagruzio in its card name, or up to 1 Mask of Hydrum from among them, reveal it and put it into your hand, shuffle your deck. Soul Blast 1, choose 1 trigger unit from your drop, bind it, and until the end of the turn, your opponent cannot increase their attack power with trigger effects of cards of the same trigger as any card in your bind zone. So that's the whole point. You bind triggers and you stop your opponent from gaining defensive power, which matters. For a trigger lineup, we're playing Rainbow. We're playing 1 over trigger. We're going with this one for the extra, the permanent 10k in crit, because we have a restanding Vanguard, so that becomes really powerful if we hit it. We're playing 7 crits for effect crits, just in case we need to move rear guards to soul or gain a little bit of power. We're playing 2 front triggers. We're obviously playing the ones that gain plus 5k, and 2 draw triggers, also the ones that gain 5k. The reason we're playing Rainbow is because we want to bind every kind of trigger, so that way we can reduce our opponent's defense across the board. We have our 3 PGs, our 1 Elementaria. We're playing 1 Purple Jewel Beast, Amethyst. So just like all the other cats, you pick 2 cards from either your soul or your drop that were in your ride deck, return them to the ride deck, and in this case you get to countercharge 1, which is really strong for this deck as it has no countercharge, or you can guard with it as a 20k shield. Ruin Collector, when it's played on rearguard, you soul charge 1, and when part of Ominagruzio Mask's effect is to take 2 back row rearguard to put them to the soul to get its restand. This guy counts as 2, so you can just move this guy in, bam. We're playing 1 Dragon Tree Wretch Skullkemda. It's our usual Mask of Hydrogram, Dragon Tree marker BS. Basically, we call him, Counter Blast 1, Soul Blast 1, get a Dragon Tree marker on a regular circle that doesn't have one, and then we can also search Mask of Hydrogram. Obviously, we want to get the Mask of Hydrogram. Misery Wing Dragon. This is probably my favorite card in the deck. During your turn, this unit gets 5,000 power for each type of trigger icon in your bind zone. So if you have all 4, that's plus 20k. That's huge. 25 if you have the over trigger 2. When this unit is placed on rear guard, if there are 2 or more types of trigger units, trigger icons, in your bind zone, Soul Blast 2, draw a card. Easy plus engine. This is the new card. This one is in set 13. That's why we're trying it out. When this unit is placed on rear guard, if you have a Vanguard with Mask in its card name, Counter Blast 1, look at 5 cards from the top of your deck, choose 1 grade 3 or less unit card with a different card name from this unit. From among them, call it to rear guard and shuffle your deck. Choose a trigger unit and you may bind it. So, you can only play this with Ominagruzio Mask. That's important. it only gets units. So if we check the top 5 and see a Master Hydrogram, we can't grab it, obviously because it calls the unit. It gives us a +1 off of calling a dude because for a counter blast 1. It also binds a trigger unit. Between our OG grade 3, the mask grade 3, and this, we can bind three different triggers in one turn without any real effort. And then it has a continuous effect during your turn. If your bind zone has 3 or more trigger units, not different, just 3 or more triggers, this unit gains for 10,000 power. So it's also a beat stick. Mask of Hydrogram, you guys know from my other videos. You basically check top 5 for a Dragon Tree or a Mask, add it to hand. But now, because we're playing a Mastic, we can actually use the second effect. We couldn't use that in Griffogila. If you have a grade 3 Vanguard with Mask in its card name, reveal a grade 3 Mask in its card name. Sorry, if you have a grade 3 without Mask, I read it wrong. Ride that unit, ride the card revealed for this cost as stand. If you rode, put this card into the soul. If your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, and you did not Persona Ride this turn, Persona Ride. So A is a drop effect. This is the one thing I think that made this card a little too powerful. That's probably why the masks, like a lot of people say the masks were good but not great. It's because A, you can play it, check top 5 to get it a Dragon Tree or Mask unit, and then right after that you can move it to soul to Persona Ride from hand. It makes going second really, really strong as you get Persona Ride right away, but it also gets you the grade 3 you want. This deck doesn't care if it goes first or second. Even if they go first, they're going to use this to get onto Ominagruzio Mask because of the way it works, which we're going to cover now. This card can only be ridden from a grade 3 with Ominagruzio, so you can't play it in any other deck. Act. Remove a card with Ominagruzio in its different card name from this unit from your hand, soul, or drop. So it has to be the OG. Obviously, if you ride this over the grade 3, you have the grade 3 in soul, or any other ones. That's why it has so many ways to search. Choose one trigger unit from your drop, bind it, and this unit gets all of your Vanguard cards, all of your opponent's cards with the same trigger icon as any of the cards in your bind zone get minus 5,000 shield, and your opponent cannot increase the power with those trigger effects. So this has the same effect as Ominagruzio, the OG, but it also makes it so when they're guarding with those cards, they have minus 5,000 shield. That becomes even more important than the defensive trigger because it makes it so much harder to guard. And then even if you don't use that effect, its second effect is an auto. At the end of the battle that this unit attacks, counterblast 1, put 2 back row rear guard units into the soul and restand this unit, and it gets -1 drive until the end of the turn. So it's a restander that reduces your guards and makes so you can't get defensive triggers. It's super, super strong. And the cool thing is, even if for some reason you don't have the Ominagruzio to discard, if you ride the OG first and use its skill, you can at the very minimum kill the defensive triggers. They'll still have the defense, but you at least stop the defensive triggers. So you can see that this deck is very control-y, kind of combo oriented, and I'm not the biggest fan of Dark States decks, but this just sounds really cool to me. So enough for me. Let's go find a game. We got a game. All right, we're going second, which is dope. Gonna get rid of one Mask of Hydrogram. Do we want to get rid of the heal trigger? Yeah. All right. We got a solid ass hand. Ooh, and we're getting to get draw jeweled. This is probably the draw jewel grade 4 too. This is gonna be interesting. So he's going first. Discard one of the new cards to ride. I don't recognize this card at all. And he ends his turn. All right, we're gonna draw. What do I even want to discard? I kind of want to keep the defense. Nah, because we're playing against draw jeweled. All right, we're gonna ride grade 1. Then we're gonna draw. Then we're gonna use effects. Soul Blast 1. Gonna check top 5. Do we have a grade 3? Yes, we do. We're gonna add that to hand. Then we're gonna shuffle. Now I could call other units, but I know he's gonna get a bunch of extra dudes, so we don't want to go too crazy just yet. So we're just gonna go battle phase and swing. Alright, we got our grade 2. We already ripped the heal trigger out of his deck. Alright, we have a crit trigger to block with, so we're probably going to block at least 1 attack. He is getting 2. We'll block this one because it's a Vanguard attack. Ooh, that's not good. I guess we're taking 2. Damn. I didn't want to take 2 already, but it's fine. Alright. Now, I kind of want to discard one of these. No, I'll discard this. We don't need both of them. Alright, we'll ride you. I get to search my deck for a trigger unit, put it into the soul. We're going to grab one of the draw triggers. We want to grab one of either the draw trigger or the front trigger, as those are the ones we only have 2 of, so those are a little bit harder to see. And now we get to draw a card. And then we're going to call. We're going to Soul Blast the trigger we just put into the soul. We're going to search for Mask of Hydrogram. Even though we already have one, we're just thinning out the deck. And then we're going to grab a Dragon Tree marker. It's not active yet because we don't have a Mask Vanguard, but hey, setup is setup. Now we're going to go swinging in. Alright, he took it. And then we go swing again. He's probably going to block this one because he's already getting high on damage. We already have a pretty big plus over him right now. What the hell is that thing? Oh, if you discard to ride grade 3, you draw a card. That's oddly specific. This is another new one. Alright, how defensive do we want to be here? We'll guard 2 to pass. We gotta guard the weaker attacks now, because once he starts reducing our power, it's gonna be really tough. Don't give a shit about that. Alright, so now we already have a heal in the drop, don't we? Yep, so we're gonna save that heal. So we'll probably get rid of one of the masks. This is actually kind of hard. I don't know what to get rid of. We need a counter blast for that. We need a counter blast for you. Damn, this deck definitely needs a counter charge. Alright, so we'll get rid of you. So we're gonna ride you. Alright, so bam, effects, check top 5. Gonna add an Ominagruzio. Believe it or not, we want the OG. We're gonna add that to hand. Shuffle. Then we're gonna use effects. Soul Blasting 1. I get to choose a trigger unit and bind it. We're definitely gonna bind the heal trigger. We're gonna bind the heal and the crit first, because those are the ones we know everybody plays. Now we're gonna use Mask of Hydrogram. Check top 5. Hit nothing. Unfortunate. And then we're gonna use Mask in the drop because it's broken. To ride. And now we get to activate Persona Ride, so we get to draw and give everything 10k. And now we can use his effects. We are going to get rid of the one from Soul. It removes it, right? Yep, removes it. And we'll bind the crit trigger. And now he loses he gets no power and all that fun stuff. We're gonna call this guy. Since we have 2 different types of triggers, we get to Soul Blast 2 to draw a card. And we top deck the cat, which we absolutely needed. Oh, that feels good. That feels good. So now we put this into the ride deck. Put this into the ride deck. The counter charge 1. And now we can call her out. Use her effects. And now we bind a third trigger, which is going to be the draw trigger. Make sure these are all face up. There we go. So now he gets the only thing he can get, he gets all of his trigger units have -5 except for over triggers and front triggers. And now all of these units get plus 10k because of Persona Ride. He's going to get plus 15k because I have 3 triggers of different kinds. And then she's also going to gain plus 10k because I have, you know, the extra trigger. And lastly, we're going to call this guy to make it easier for us to restand. And now we go to battle phase. So we're going to go 31 to Vanguard. This is brutal. This is like seriously brutal. And we hit a heal trigger. Jesus Christ. We'll go over here since that has a boost. We get to recover 1 since he's got 2 damage. He gets no power from that. Now we get to counterblast 1. Put this into the soul. Restand. 1 check. And then look, I got 50 and 48. That's crazy to me. Another heal trigger, though this one doesn't give us any extra power. It's okay, we're just gonna give the power over here. Now we're gonna go 48 to the same. Still no power. And then 50 to the same. So he went from 2 to 5 damage. He hit 3 damage triggers and gained 0 power. Like, that is crazy to me. Crazy. We haven't seen our fronts or our over trigger, which is unfortunate because I would like to hit those 2 next turn. But we already have an Ominagruzio to reduce his guard power again next turn. So he's gonna have to deal with another 5 attacks. His draw jeweled masks. No, did he Persona Ride? He didn't do anything. He's probably gonna use the Mask of Hydrogram. It doesn't even look like he had the Mask of Hydrogram. Damn. Oh, I think this. Damn. He didn't have anything. We want to guard these weaker attacks, because the later attack's gonna be rough. Get these 1-card guards out the way. We're gonna perfect guard this because it's gonna gain power and a crit. Actually, we're not gonna. We're gonna eat this because otherwise he's just gonna swing at the rear guards, and we don't want that. So we're gonna eat this. So hit a crit. Hold on, we gotta reduce our power. So 1 check, 2 checks. Dope. 3 checks. That's fine. I would have liked to keep that, but it's fine. I can go too. Alright, easy. Now, what can I do here? Unfortunately, we can't Persona Ride, but we can activate Mask of Hydrogram and hope. So we check top 5 and hope for our big boy grade 3, which we did not get yet again. Uh-oh. Now we might be in a little bit of trouble. Now we might be in a little bit of trouble. Because that hurt. Alright, we're gonna call her Gonna activate his effects. Oh. So now we bind another trigger. That one don't really matter as much. Unfortunately, we're kind of hurting now that I look at it. Oh. So, yeah, we are kind of hurting. So that is 33. Alright. Ooh. I'm gonna give all effects to the Vanguard because we have a restanding Vanguard. Damn. I had to hope. And this thing has plus 10k on it. So that's 13, that's 1 to pass. That's still 1 to pass. Alright, come on, Lady Luck. Yeah, buddy. GG. Yeah, that was scary. I don't know what he was looking at for his hand. He probably had a bunch of grade 3s since he didn't play a grade 3 last turn. He's playing a lot of grade 3s. He's playing the cards that get him the grade 4, so I'm assuming he's playing the grade 4 deck. So though he has a huge hand, he's probably down on a lot of shield because of our nerfs. Alright guys, here's one last look at the deck. Like I said, it was a little hurting on the hand advantage after, especially since he hit the extra crit when he swung with his grade 3. We probably could have guarded a little different. I also could have guarded the Vanguard and took the first 2 hits. I might have been able to play it a little differently, but like I said, that was on me. With the cards he had in hand and the fact that all of his triggers were minus 5k, that means his draw triggers were 5k shield, so he would have had to dump 3 to equal the power of a regular trigger. Having to keep on dumping all the extra triggers, he probably was trying to conserve on guard, even though I still had 1 more attack. Though that 1 attack was only 20k, so maybe he also had an intercept on the board. I don't know. I feel like he could have done better on that one too. But let me know how you guys feel about this deck down in the comments. Let me know if you guys think I should have tried running a different tech. Maybe I should have done something differently when I kind of comboed off. I did like being able to deal 4 damage in a single turn, but that's neither here nor there. If you guys want to check me out on social media, those links will be down below. If you guys want to see me play another deck, let me know down in the comments. That's it from me. I'll catch you guys on the next video. Later.